Hello everyone, my name is Dana Parkhurst, and this is my persuasive speech on why I believe you all should become organ donors if you are not already. My audience today is my mom, my dad, and my roommate Emily. They're sitting behind you. I'm trying to get as close to the computer so you can see my PowerPoint presentation. So we're going to start with a little bit on the history of organ donation. The first successful human organ transplant was a kidney, which was transferred from one sister to another in 1954. Both of the sisters had lived. In the 1970s, an anti-rejection drug was developed to help patients to prevent their body from rejecting their new organs. And in the 1980s, regenerative medicine emerged and made it possible to repair damaged organs and to grow new organs outside of the body. So for example, like someone lost an ear, they could plant it into the arm and let it get blood supply, and it would grow and repair itself, and they would remove it from the arm and put it right back where it's supposed to belong. That's regenerative medicine, and it takes new leaps every year. Like, it's amazing what these doctors can do. So now we're going to go to a scenario. I'm going to give you guys a little scenario. Say you're a 45-year-old, healthy, active for the most part, and then one day you get sharp pains in your chest that travel down your left arm, your breathing is really heavy, you can't take deep breaths, and suddenly you collapse to the ground, unconscious. You wake up in a hospital bed, not knowing what happened, how you got there, if you're okay. And so the doctor comes in, tells you you suffered a major heart attack, and your heart has traumatic damage, and you won't live very much longer with your heart, and that you're being put on the top of the transplant list for emergency surgery. What would you think? Would you want someone there? Someone available who could donate their organ to you to save your life? Every 10 minutes, someone new gets added to the transplant list. And I know a lot of reasons some people don't become organ donors is because there are many reasons why people don't become organ donors. Actually, there are a lot of myths too. So I'm just going to go through a couple of those. One myth is that hospital staff won't work as hard to save a life if the person is an organ donor. I have to say, working in a hospital, in the 5 years that I've worked there, that's completely false. A doctor's job is to save their patient's life, not to worry about another patient. And it's against the law to deny a patient life-saving procedures, medication, etc., unless it's specifically requested so by the patient in like a DNR. Another myth would be maybe you're not really dead when they sign the death certificate. If a person's an organ donor, the doctors actually run more tests on you to make sure that you're technically dead. Another one was an open casket funeral isn't an option when you're an organ donor, which is also false. Organ and tissue donation doesn't interfere with the cosmetic look of a person, and it doesn't interfere with an open casket funeral. As a matter of fact, there are no visible signs of donation with an open casket funeral. All incisions are covered with clothing. Skin donations, if you donate skin, all the skin is from your back side of your body, so again, not noticeable to the naked eye. And bone donations, they replace the bone with metal rods in your body so that you're not deformed or anything for an open casket funeral. There's another myth, which I used to believe until I did research for this speech. You must be 18 in order to donate organs. Not true. You don't have to be 18. You have to be 18 in order to register yourself as a donor, but anyone at any age can request their parents to authorize the decision for them. And then I have some data about transplants in the past year of 2014. There were 280 children less than a year old who were saved by organ donations. Children 1 to 5, there were 503. Ages 6 to 10, there were 284 patients. 11 to 17-year-olds, 728. 18 to 34-year-olds had 3,148 patients. 35 to 49-year-olds had over 6,400 patients. 50 to 64-year-olds had 12,791 transplants. 65 years and older were 5,391 patients. It's shocking to me that in the United States, only about 45% of the Americans are registered as organ donors. And in New York State, the percentage is only 12.7%. So that means in New York, only about 41% of people on the transplant list will receive an organ. That's scary to me to think about. I pray to God I never need it, but I would really hope that there was an organ donor out there that would be able to save my life. So going back to our scenario, isn't it kind of scary to think about? There's only a 41% chance that you'll receive the donation that you need to live. A 41% chance because of a heart attack. I think if the roles were reversed for a lot of people, they would want the organ, but not so many are as eager to give it up. But from what I've told you, doctors make sure that you're not getting any use from the organs. You are dead, legally dead, unless it's a kidney transplant or a partial liver transplant. Those are the only two that you can donate still living without any major repercussions. I hope you all enjoyed the speech, and I hope I convinced some of you to maybe go and register to become an organ donor. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice day.